Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Big Nerd Pub Quiz Star Wars Special, the 20th Big Nerd Pub Quiz so far. I'm your Jedi Quizmaster for this evening, Mark Hughes, and I'm honoured to be sharing this Star Wars Day, May the 4th, with you guys, wherever you may be in the galaxy. Tonight, we'll be testing to see whether or not you're as clever as Yoda, or is your aim as sharp as a Stormtrooper, which, let's face it, leaves a lot to be desired. 8 rounds coming up of some of the toughest Star Wars trivia coming your way. If you've played Big Nerd Pub Quiz before, then you'll know what you're in for. If this is your first time, then you're very welcome to Big Nerd Pub Quiz. We stream 4 quizzes every week from my bedroom here at my family home in Ireland. We do general knowledge quizzes every Wednesday and Saturday, plus specialist quizzes every Monday, and a kids quiz every Tuesday. So let's prepare to jump into hyperspace and get ready to play Big Nerd Star Wars Quiz. Here's how you play. Alright, so like I said, welcome to the Big Nerd Star Wars quiz. You can play two ways. You can play with good old-fashioned pen or paper, or you can use the Google form. So the Google form is found in the this YouTube description below in the video. You can play as a team or individually. It's totally up to you. Open the Google link, enter your email address, and answer the multiple choice questions as they are asked. There are 8 rounds with 6 questions each. There's only one correct answer per question. Once the quiz is finished, simply hit submit. You'll get your scores at the very, very end, but stick about to see the answers for the quiz. It's recommended that you stream the quiz on a laptop or television and play using the Google form on your phone or other device. Good luck, and may the force be with you. So yes, we're on all the social media sites. I do want to see all your pictures of you guys playing all around the world or all around the galaxy, no matter where you are. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Use the hashtag BigNerdPubQuiz. I definitely want to see some cosplay out there. I want to see people really living up to May the 4th today. Don't forget, like I said before, there is a kids quiz that we do every Tuesday at 2 p.m. And don't forget to like and subscribe the YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/BigNerdPubQuiz. And share it with your friends if you're liking what you're doing. Also, you can stream the quiz through Zoom and replay any of the quizzes that we've done before. This is the 3rd specialist Big Nerd Pub Quiz we've done, the Star Wars one, but we had previously done Star Trek and Game of Thrones and a 90s quiz. So if you do want to check those out, by all means, head over to the YouTube site. That's youtube.com/BigNerdPubQuiz. Speaking of specialty quizzes, coming up, the Harry Potter quiz, Monday, May the 11th, 2020 at 8 p.m. And we've got a Marvel DC quiz happening on the 18th of May, the week after 2020 at 8 p.m. as well. And don't forget, you can buy official Big Nerd Pub Quiz t-shirts and hoodies and tote bags, all from our sponsors, NorthernIronTees.com. And they've got a collection of some really funny and very localized Star Wars t-shirts there, as you can see. Do check those out. If you are enjoying the quiz and you're liking what I'm doing, feel free to donate to my PayPal, my Patreon. Big Nerd Pub Quiz is always free to play. However, you can support the work that I'm doing. Please consider donating as little as £1 to the PayPal or become a Patreon. Massive thank you to everyone out there who's been doing this over the last couple of weeks. It's actually become a little job for me. So yes, what do you think? I've got my kind of Star Wars set here all ready for you tonight. So yeah, I definitely, like I said, I want to see some pictures of you guys all dressed up in Star Wars gear wherever you are. Let me know where in the galaxy. You're on all the social media channels. If you want a shout out, please let me know via the Facebook. That's the best way. DM me on Facebook. That's the best way to get me. I'll try my best. We've had so many people tuning in tonight, and I know it's hard to get through everybody. Before we begin, massive shout out to my buddy Mark Harrison, who helped me write and verify the quiz. We know that Star Wars fans can be the most discerning in the galaxy, so we kind of know that, you know, we wanted to make sure that the quiz was 100% accurate and as close as we could get. So we double checked it, and everything is canon. We're not going expanded universe. We kind of figured that would be a little bit too much. We're trying to keep everything between episode 1, episode 9, Mandalorian, Clone Wars, all that sort of stuff. So yes, tonight, here we go. Yes, Mark Hamill's fantastic. He always really, really good to his fans. Okay, thank you so much for joining me here tonight. And the Big Nerd Star Wars quiz, here we go. Here's our first question of tonight. Our first round is Star Wars general knowledge. So tonight's first round is just going to be a mad mix of Star Wars general knowledge, kind of stuff you kind of know about the show in and behind the scenes. I know so many of you guys have been doing marathons today because it is Star Wars May the 4th. But yes, some of these should be fresh in your mind. Okay, so here we go. So round 1, question 1. I hope you've got the Google form ready. Here we go. So round 1, question 1. There is unrest in the Galactic Senate, are the first lines of the opening crawl of which Star Wars film? You will see 4 options in your question sheet there. So there's 4 options. Round 1, question 1. There is unrest in the Galactic Senate, are the first lines of the opening crawl of which Star Wars film? Here we go. Round 1, question 2. What is the name of the second Family Guy Star Wars parody? It's round one. Question 2. I love these, by the way. I think Seth MacFarlane is an absolute legend. But yes, they've done 3 Family Guy parodies of Star Wars. Which one was the second one? Which was the Empire Strikes Back spoof? That's what I'm looking for. So round 1, question 2. Round 1, question 3. What year did Return of the Jedi premiere? Okay. So what year did Return of the Jedi premiere? Now we're celebrating an anniversary, big anniversary this year. A very important film came out 40 years ago now. It's hard to believe, like 21 years ago. Phantom Menace, we were all chomping at the bit to get watching the Phantom Menace. But yes, what year did Return of the Jedi premiere? It's hard to believe. Star Wars fans, they get a Star Wars film every year. Back in the day, we had to wait every 3 years for a new Star Wars film. Okay, but here we go. So round 1, question 4. What, according to C-3PO, are the odds of successfully navigating an asteroid field? So what? Now this is in The Empire Strikes Back. They leave Hoth and they fly into this massive asteroid field. But what, according to C-3PO, are the odds of successfully navigating an asteroid field? And your final round 1 question, question 6, round 1, question 6. How many credits does Han Solo accept to take Luke and Obi-Wan, C-3PO and R2-D2 to Alderaan? Okay, so you remember the scene? Episode 4, they go in. Han pitches them a figure. Looks like, we could buy our own computer for that. You know, we don't have to listen to this. But anyway, round 1, question 6. Obi-Wan does a little bit of bartering. So how many credits does Han Solo finally accept? Oh, sorry, I skipped question 5. Sorry about that. Somebody, thanks for the heads up, Sasha. Rewind, back to question 5. Sorry about that. What were the power droids also known as due to their strange sounds they make? So the power droids that you first see them in Star Wars Episode 4. They make appearances in Rogue, in various different Star Wars films. I know they appear in Rebels. There's one quite prominent one in Rebels. But thanks very much for that, Sasha. But what are the power droids also known as due to the strange sound that they make? They've got 2 little feet and they make this little noise. So don't worry if you don't know it. I think it should be obvious. There's 4 answers there that you can pick from. And one little last look there, question 6. How many credits does Han Solo accept to take Luke, Obi-Wan and C-3PO and R2-D2 to Alderaan? Han Solo looking really shifty there. Okay, so here we go. Round 1, roundup. We're going to go through every question as we do each round, and feel free to pause the stream and go back at any point. So round 1, question 1. There's unrest in the Galactic Senate are the first lines of the opening crawl of which Star Wars film? That should be fresh in your memory if you've been watching them this morning. Number 2, what is the name of... Oh, sorry about that. Number 2, I've changed the question number 2. Number 2 is what are the name is the second Star Wars Family Guy parody. I was going to originally ask what is the online Star Wars wiki, but that's obviously the Wikipedia. I thought that was a little bit too obvious. What year did Return of the Jedi premiere? What, according to C-3PO, are the odds of successfully navigating an asteroid field? What are power droids also known as due to the strange sound that they make? And how many credits does Han Solo accept to take Luke, Obi-Wan and R2-D2 to Alderaan? Okay, so that's first round out of the way. So we'll get some shout-outs done here. So we've got Deirdre Roddy, who's playing in Cloughy, who's playing with Gareth Kinnear and Adam Kinnear. We've got Nikki Wilde, who's playing tonight. We've got Rebecca, she wants a shout out. And Rebecca, Ray and Christy want a shout out for Steve and Emer. And the Hunters, Noah and Elijah, they've been allowed to stay up late to play the Star Wars quiz. Great to hear from you guys. And I saw you guys in your kick-ass X-Wing flight suits. I loved those. Really cool. Great to hear from you all. Keep the shout outs coming in. I'll try my best to get through everybody I can. Okay, so here we go. Round 2 is our first specialist round. Round 2 is ships and tech. Ships and technology. What would Star Wars be without the cool ships and the technology? But here we go. Ships and technology. Round 2, question 1. So, Round 2, question 1. What does the acronym TIE stand for in TIE Fighter? Believe it or not, it is an acronym. And I loved that game. They really don't make the Star Wars TIE Fighter X-Wing games, they really don't make them like that anymore. I think the last one I had was X-Wing Alliance, and you could really fly the ship. It wasn't just point, click, shoot. It was like you could, control the level of the shields, the power of the weapons. It was all-encompassing Star Wars flight simulator. But what does the acronym TIE stand for in TIE Fighter? Round 2, question 2. What does the S in ATST stand for? Now, there's a lot of controversy about how you pronounce, is it at or at ATST or AT-AT? But I think it's kind of confirmed in one of the episodes of The Mandalorian where they're getting attacked by one of these things. So it's like and they do refer to it as an ATST. But what does the S in ATST stand for? You famously first see one in The Empire Strikes Back in the background. Okay, round 2, question 3. What type of ship is the Millennium Falcon? So round 2, question 3. What type of ship is the Millennium Falcon? Okay, skipping on, next question. Round 2, question 4. What is the name of the Mandalorian ship in the TV series? So let's raise a glass wherever you are for the Mandalorian, because in my honest opinion, it's the best Star Wars thing that we've had in years. Actually, quite like Rogue One as well. But this, I think, for the purists out there, absolutely love this show. Definitely one of the best. But what's the name of his cool ship? What's the name of the Mandalorian ship in the TV series? Baby Yoda there. The child. Oh, fantastic. So cute. Round 2, question 5. What is the make of craft that Luke Skywalker used to bullseye womp rats in Beggar's Canyon? Now, this is mentioned on screen. It's not seen fly, but you do see one in the background in Luke's homestead. And you see Luke playing with one. So Luke is a bit of a fanboy as well. Like, he likes to go like with his ships, just like everybody else. But yes, what is the make of the craft that Luke Skywalker used to bullseye womp rats in Beggar's Canyon? All right. So that's, and like I said, it is mentioned on screen. Okay. We try to keep as much of this as screen accurate as we can. So there we go. Round 2, question 6. Who does this lightsaber belong to? It's a very important plot point in the movie. Yes, Lloyd, you see a T-16 in Rogue Squadron, but we're not doing video games. Round 2, question 6. Who does this lightsaber belong to? So I'm getting a lot of feedback here about the quiz. But anyway, I know you play it in Rogue Squadron. It's a great game too. But you don't see it on screen in the official movies. You do, technically. It's in the background. But round 2, question 6. Who does this lightsaber belong to? And it's a very important plot point of this movie. So if you're not sure, it's roughly around, you see it, if you can guess which movie this is from, you'll understand. All right. And here's your round 2 roundup for the ships and technology. So, what does the acronym TIE stand for in TIE Fighter? Number 2, what does the S in ATST stand for? 3, what type of ship is the Millennium Falcon? Number 4, name the Mandalorian ship in the TV series. Number 5, the make of craft that Luke Skywalker used to bullseye womp rats in Beggar's Canyon. And 6, who does this lightsaber belong to? One more look at it there. All right, so that is round 2 I'm still getting loads and loads of texts from people here. Marks, could you give a shout out to big Star Wars fan Ben, who is 10 and is playing along in Hollywood? Good to hear from you, man. Team Ewok are playing in Kent, and that's from Dean. Trish Duncan is in Gloucester, and she wants a shout out to Louise and Ben and Rob, who's playing in Cheltenham. Thank you very much. And Kirsty Driver's telling me that Aaron is going to be playing along while she is just going to be making a good jigsaw. So fair play to you. Anyway, thanks for joining us here tonight on the Star Wars special, Big Nerd Pub Quiz Star Wars special. Don't forget to like and subscribe the channel because we've got so many more specialist quizzes coming up. We've got the Harry Potter one. We've got the Marvel DC one. We're thinking about doing a Father Ted one at some point. We've got loads of ideas. Keep your ideas. Keep all your feedback coming in. Like on all the different social media channels that you can see here. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, of course. So here we go. Round 3 of tonight's Big Nerd Pub Quiz special is aliens and creatures. So yes, Star Wars is a bit of a menagerie of aliens and creatures from all across the galaxy. So we thought we'd make a round all about them. Let's see how you get on. Here we go. So round 3, Big Nerd Pub Quiz, aliens and creatures. So round 3, question 1. What kind of alien is Greedo the Bounty Hunter? So round 3, question 1. What kind of alien is Greedo the Bounty Hunter? Utanola Solo? Can't really do it. Round 3, question 2. What species specialize in droid construction? Now, there are a few, but I'm the ones that are listed on the answer sheet. Okay? So round 3, question 2. You do see their factory at one point in the show. Round 3, question 2. What species out of those listed on your answer sheet specialize in droid construction? Round 3, question 3. What creature nearly made a meal out of Lando Calrissian after grabbing him by the ankle? All right. So yeah, you'll definitely get this one. It's a pretty obvious one, this one. But which creature nearly made a meal out of Lando Calrissian after grabbing him by the ankle? And a very famously blind Han Solo managed to get him out of it. But there we go. I've set the scene for you. You should be able to get that. So round 3, question 3 of aliens and creatures. Going on to round 4. So round 3, question 4. What is the name of the alien creature that gets its arm sliced off by Obi-Wan Kenobi at the cantina on Mos Eisley? Or at Mos Eisley. Yes. These two guys actually make a little cameo appearance in Rogue One. But yeah, I'd be fairly annoyed if I had a butt for a face as well. I'd be dealt a fairly bad hand there if you were born like that. But only a face a mother could love. But yes, he doesn't like you. Sorry, I really should stop quoting the movies. What is the name of the alien creature that gets its arm sliced off by Obi-Wan Kenobi in the cantina on Mos Eisley? Round 3, question 5. What are the large mammals that were enslaved for sports at the casino on Canto Bight? Okay, the famous scene in the movie The Last Jedi, Episode 8. The large mammals that were enslaved for sports at the casino of Canto Bight. Okay, Rose and Finn ride them at one point, but there you are. Round 3, question 5. And your final creatures and aliens question of Big Nerd Pub Quiz tonight. So what creatures were created in order to cover up the native puffins on Skellig Michael Achto? So yes, that's Skellig Michael. That's an actual island. It's off the coast of Ireland. You can go visit it, but it's really difficult to actually go to it, given the fact that it is an actual wildlife conservation. And from what I was told firsthand about this, that they only allowed X amount of people onto the island at a certain any given time, because it is a UNESCO heritage site. It is a conservation site, and they did have to create these little creatures to cover up the puffins on Skellig Michaels. But what were the name of the creatures? What creatures did they have to create in order to cover them up? They were all just everywhere, getting in the shot. Okay, so here's your aliens and creatures roundup for tonight. What kind of alien is Greedo the Bounty Hunter? 2. What species specialize in droid construction? 3. What creature nearly made a meal of Lando Calrissian after grabbing him by the ankle? 4. What is the name of the alien creature that gets his arm sliced off by Obi-Wan Kenobi? What large mammals were enslaved for sports in the casino in Canto Bight? And what creatures were created in order to cover up native puffins on Skellig Michael Acto? And, just nearly skipped on there. So that's your aliens and creatures. We're going to just shoot on to our next round. We might as well just keep it going tonight because we want to get through it. And I know the quiz generally lasts for an hour, and I know so many of you guys want to get back to your marathons and have something to eat or something like that. But yes, thank you so much for taking the time to play the quiz. Don't forget, if you want to support what I'm doing, you can log on to the Patreon or the PayPal. All the links are just below there. I really appreciate all the support that I'm getting. So the next, I think you've seen what it is, but the next round that we're doing tonight is planets and locations. Okay, before we go on to planets and locations, I did have a request from a friend of mine, Amy, who texted me, and she said to me that she would like to see my dog, Molly. Now, Molly can't be with us tonight. She's out for a walk with her mum, my mum. But a lot of people out there, who've watched the quiz before, they know that my little dog is a Shih Tzu, and Shih Tzus were famously the faces of Shih Tzus were actually famously used for the faces of Ewoks. Now that's my dog there in an Ewok costume. That's Molly, the Ewok. There, like I said, I couldn't get her up here tonight, but that is a photograph of her in the Ewok costume. She doesn't look too happy about that, but yes, Amy, that is Molly there in her Ewok costume. Hopefully we'll get her on at some other point, but like in some of the future quizzes. Next quiz is on Wednesday, by the way. So here we go. Round 4, question 1 of the planets and locations round. So round 4, question 1. What is the name of the pod race which Anakin Skywalker wins? Let's face it. Now, I have a lot of love for episode 1. I don't think it's a perfect movie. It's got its flaws, but, you know, if there's one good thing to come out of this, episode 1 Racer, and I had this for the PC about 20 years ago, and I spent hours playing it. It was the best game. I know it came out in the N64 as well. It kicked ass. Such a cool game. But what's the name of the pod race which Anakin Skywalker wins in episode 1? Okay, round 4, question 2. On which planet has Maz Kanata run her watering hole for a millennium? You first see this planet in Star Wars Episode 7, Force Awakens. And to be honest, I always thought Maz Kanata was such a wasted character. Like, there was a lot of build-up about the character and then not really much done about it. But yes, I'm looking for the name of the planet that Maz Kanata has run her watering hole on for nearly a millennium. Okay, question 3 of round 4, planets and locations. Okay, so this is an interesting one. Of which of these planets is not mentioned by name in Star Wars A New Hope? Is it Kessel, Tatooine, Dantooine, or Alderaan? Okay, this is quite an interesting one. It always shocked me, this. But anyway, but which of these planets is actually not mentioned by name in Star Wars A New Hope? Okay, is it Kessel, Tatooine, Dantooine, or Alderaan? Round 4, question 4. This is a toughie, this one. The super weapon known as a Starkiller Base was built into which sacred Jedi planet? So yes, the super weapon known as Starkiller Base was built onto which sacred Jedi planet? Round 4, question 5. One of my favorite locations in Star Wars. But what type of gas is mined and refined at Bespin Cloud City? So again, this is mentioned on screen. This isn't kind of one of these little things you have to dig into. It's mentioned on screen, but what type of gas is mined and refined at Bespin Cloud City. I absolutely love the location. I think it's of all the locations in Star Wars, it's my favorite. I just love the fact that it's in the clouds, and it looks cool. And I love what they did. A lot of people say about the special editions. I actually love what they did with the special editions. They opened it up, made it look bigger and brighter. And yes, that's art by Ralph McQuarrie there, the famous visualizer of Star Wars. And final question tonight, round 4, question 6. Where's Han Solo from? Famous smuggler in the galaxy. But where is Han Solo actually from? We get to see it in one of the movies. I'm not going to tell you which. But you actually do finally get to see it. But yes, round 4, question 6. Where is Han Solo from? There's your round 4 roundup there. Planets and locations. So, quickly go through them one more time. What is the name of the pod race which Anakin Skywalker wins? Number 2. On which planet has Maz Kanata run her watering hole for a millennium? Number 3. Which of these planets is not mentioned by name in Star Wars A New Hope? Is it Kessel, Tatooine, Dantooine, or Alderaan? The superweapon known as Starkiller Base was built into which sacred Jedi planet? That's number 4. Number 5, what type of gas is mined and refined at Bespin Cloud City? And number 6, where is Han Solo from? That is round 4, and we've just come to the halfway point of our quiz. Time with me now is roughly 28 minutes past 8 on May the 4th, 2020. Thanks so much for joining me tonight, and thanks for making Big Nerd Pub Quiz a part of your Star Wars day. It's an absolute honor to be doing this. I'm a massive Star Wars fan, and I love just geeking out about this stuff. A big thank you again to my buddy Mark Harrison, who helped write the quiz with me, who helped fact check it, and we went through it all last night to make sure it was the best Star Wars quiz we could possibly give you, because we know Star Wars fans can be the most discerning in the galaxy. So like I said before, big thank you to him. So we've got a couple of little housekeeping things to bring up tonight. So we check out my mate's podcast, Stuck in Here With You, Jez and Mary. They do a podcast about their life in lockdown. Also, check out my buddy Paul's podcast, Hot Topic Nightmare. This week we have Hannah Berry, who is going to be talking about some random subject that she's been assigned to do as a bit of homework. That's my mate's Paul's Hot Topic Nightmare. Also, check out Banterflix, the Northern Irish Film Review website, and Fright Club. Check out their Twitter feed at The Fright Club NI. They're a horror movie aficionado site and blog. Also, tonight you can check out these wonderful Star Wars t-shirts from northerntees.com. Do check them out. They've got the Star Wars specials there. And you can buy official Big Nerd Pub Quiz merchandise exclusively from Northern Iron Tees. You can get them in all sorts of colours and varieties and shapes and sizes. Thank you so much for buying them. I've seen people out there sharing the pictures wearing the merch, which is amazing, I have to say. Given I only started this a couple of weeks ago, it's unbelievable seeing that. And like I said, I did start this pub quiz when I came back from London and back home in my home in Restrever. And yeah, it's become a job for me. So the quiz is always going to be free to play. But if you can support the work that goes into making these and researching and writing and presenting them, do consider donating as little as £1 to the PayPal, or you can become a Patreon or Patreon. So yes, those are the links there. Thanks to everyone who's been supporting over the last couple of weeks. We've got some time for shout-outs here. We've got Dave Matthews, Tilda, Dave and John. Dave House are playing in London. We've got Karishma from Manchester, who wants a big shout-out to Jay in Dubai. Really good to hear from you, man. Rai Komisky is playing in Manchester tonight. We've got Mamta, Milan, and they want to shout out to Brothers and Matt in Warrington, and Craig and Rachel in Coventry. Good to see you guys, and thanks so much for playing this awesome Star Wars quiz with me tonight. And of course, we've got shout-outs to Amy Cochran, who's watching. She's doing a big marathon, I think, today of all the Star Wars in order to prep for this, but she's the one who wanted to see the dog. Hopefully I will try to get some more shout outs done throughout the night. Keep them coming in. DM me via the Facebook. Okay, enough of my yattering. We're going to move on to the next round tonight, and this is an interesting round. This is round 5. This is all about timelines. Now, as any Star Wars fan knows, time in Star Wars is canonically measured as anything that happened before the Battle of Yavin and after the Battle of Yavin. It's basically everything that happens in Star Wars Episode 4. So ABI, is everything that happened afterwards, and BBY is all the stuff that happened before. We're not going to be asking you anything that complicated tonight, but I'm going to be showing you in this next round 6 historical Star Wars events. All I want you to do is put them in order in which they happened. Canonically now, not in terms of when they released. I'm not looking for that. I'm looking to see when these events took place in the Star Wars timeline. Okay, here you are. Here is the 6 events in round 5. So we got the death of Jabba the Hutt, the destruction of Kijimi by the First Order, the battle over Coruscant, Chancellor Palpatine elected, the encounter at Arvala 7, and the heist on Vandor. So if you think that the death of Jabba the Hutt took place first, put it at number 1 and work your way down. So I want the earliest first. I'm going to keep this up on screen for a couple of minutes for you guys to work this one out. Okay, so like I said, if you think death of Jabba the Hutt happened first, put it at number 1. If you think destruction of Kijimi happened number 2, you put that at number 2. So sort the timeline out. All I want is every event taking place in the correct order. Okay, so like I said before, if you think the first one is death of Jabba the Hutt, put it at number 1 and work your way. If you think the heist at Vandor is the last thing, put it at number 6. So work your way down. Try to work out when these events took place. Okay, try to figure out when these events happened. They're all from various movies and TV shows. In fact, all the 6 events, they're all canonical. We're not doing expanded universe. We could spend years doing the legend stuff. But yes, death of Jabba the Hutt, destruction of Kijimi by the First Order, the battle over Coruscant, Chancellor Palpatine elected, the encounter at Arvala 7, and the heist on Vandor. We're going to keep it up there for another couple of minutes to get you guys, just to make sure you've got them all right, okay? Just make sure you get them in the right order. Okay, so like I said, 4 of them are from the Skywalker Saga, episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, up to 9. One of them is from a TV show, and another one is from one of the Star Wars Stories movies. But like I said before, I'm looking for them in order. Couple of more seconds. Death of Jabba the Hutt, the destruction of Kijimi by the First Order, the battle over Coruscant, Chancellor Palpatine elected, the encounter at Arvala 7, and the heist on Vandor. Okay, now that was interesting now. I think that really got the brain scratching. If you've been playing and watching the movies in order today, that should come easy to you. Okay, so I hope you picked up some points in that round. So, without further ado, we're going to move on from round 5 to round 6. Round 6, now what would Star Wars be if it didn't have battles in it? So round 6 is all about famous battles which happen in Star Wars. So, what other franchise would we be talking about? So here we go, round 6, battles. Question 1, round 6. What is Wedge Antilles' call sign at the Battle of Yavin? I'm looking for the call sign that Wedge Antilles has at the Battle of Yavin. Dennis Lawson, who famously played Wedge Antilles in 4 films. Actually, Ewan McGregor's uncle. He's a very famous Scottish actor in his own right. But yes, you should check him out, and he's in a really good movie with Peter Capaldi, local hero. Round 6, question 2. What is the name of the flagship of General Grievous's fleet at the Battle of Coruscant? Another question about that famous battle, which you see at the very beginning of one of the movies. I don't want to give too much away, but yes, what is the name of the flagship of General Grievous's fleet at the Battle of Coruscant? I was going to have a little sip of my water there. I thought the screens was going to come up. But yes, round 6, question 2. Famously crashes on the planet. Round 6, question 3. What was the first battle that the rebellion won against the Empire, which led to the leaking of the first Death Star plans? So this is the battle depicted at the end of Rogue One. It's the battle mentioned in the opening crawl of episode 4. It's that, rebel forces striking from their hidden base have won their first victory against the Empire. But where was that battle? So where was the first battle that the rebellion won against the Empire, which led to the leaking of the first Death Star plans? Round 6, question 4. What was the name of the general that led the ground attack on Hoth for the Empire? He's a very famous actor. He appears in loads of stuff. He's in Game of Thrones. He's also in Indiana Jones. Last Crusade, I believe it is. That's the actor who plays him. But I'm looking for the name of the character. Julian Glover. Julian Glover, that's the name. Oh my god, I'm seeing so many shoutouts coming here. I will try my best. I will try my best to give everyone a shoutout. Worst comes to worst, I'll give your name a shoutout at some point. Round 6, question 5. What species was helped the Rebel Alliance obtain the plans for the second Death Star orbiting the moon of Endor? They're famously mentioned on screen, but you don't see them. But what species helped the Rebel Alliance obtain the plans for the second Death Star orbiting the moon of Endor? Many of them died to bring us this information. Yes, Return of the Jedi. Round 6, question 5. So what species helped the Rebel Alliance obtain the plans for the second Death Star orbiting the moon of Endor? And your final battles question, round 6, question 6. Where does the massive battle at the end of The Rise of Skywalker between the Resistance and the First Order take place? So this is a very new one. Obviously, The Rise of Skywalker only just came out in December there, so you really have to, probably watched it a few times to get this. But yes, I'm looking for the name of the place where the battle, that massive battle takes place at the end of The Rise of Skywalker between the Resistance and the First Order. Where does that take place? And there's your roundup there of round 6 questions, the battle questions. Number 1, what is Wedge Antilles' call sign at the Battle of Yavin? What's the name of General Grievous's flagship in the Battle of Coruscant? Where was the first battle that the rebellion won against the Empire, which led to the leaking of the first Death Star plans? What was the name of the general that led the ground attack on Hoth for the Empire? And what species helped the Rebel Alliance obtain the plans for the second Death Star orbiting the moon of Endor? And where does the massive battle at the end of Rise of Skywalker between the Resistance and the First Order take place? Okay, quickly, couple of more shout-outs here. Lisa and Scott, they're playing tonight again. Thanks so much for joining me again. Jackie says, Will, Aya, Tyree, Carol, and Ray. Much love to you guys from Hannah. Oshin and his dad, Stephen, are playing tonight as well. Good to hear from you guys. Oh, we've got so many other people here shouting out. Whoa, my inbox has just exploded here. Like I said, the best way to get me is before the quiz kicks off. I'll try to get as many of them out as I can. Oh, I know all my London buddies are watching tonight. Marty Roddy's playing too. Gotta mention the husband. That's from Deirdre there. Kira Hawkins, she says, Unreal opening. Can you give a shout out to Kira, Michael, Katie, and Robin? Good to hear you. Amy Lawson's playing tonight. She says she loving the Star Wars quiz. Jennifer Dooley wants a shout out for Finn, 7 years old, massive Star Wars fan. Good to see that. Good to hear from you. And Hayley Penders texted me there. She said she's got her Star Wars t-shirt on tonight. She wants a shout out to her friend William, who's playing along in the house. Like I said, we'll try to get a couple more shout outs squeezed in between the next couple of rounds. I know you're all dying to see the next one. Next round is round 7, which is behind the scenes. So yeah, I thought we'd mix this one up a bit. I thought like a little bit of outer knowledge of Star Wars would be useful for this next round. But yes, behind the scenes information about the series itself is always pretty cool. And you know, I know myself, I used to love digging up. There used to be this thing called the Star Wars behind the scenes guide on CD-ROM, and I spent hours on that. Before Wikipedia, this was the thing to have. And the Star Wars the visual guides there, like absolutely loved burying myself in them and the cutaways. But anyway, here we go. Here's some behind the scenes questions of Star Wars. Round 7, question 1. So filming for Star Wars began in 1976 in which country? The date, and I've double checked this on StarWars.com, is March the 22nd, 1976. They filmed the very first scenes, the very first live action scenes. But in which country did they film them in? So round 7, question 1. Round 7, question 2. What code name was Return of the Jedi filmed under? it was pretty obvious once you seen the logo, because it was in the Star Wars typeface. So it's one of those things, like, if you didn't realize what it was when you were seeing it, like, the stormtroopers out there, like, it. Yeah, but what famous code name was Return of the Jedi filmed under? And the actual t-shirts and merch from that go on eBay, and they've gone on auction sites for thousands and thousands of pounds. But yes, highly collectible. What code name was Return of the Jedi filmed under? Round 7, question 3. Some of you guys might have gone on this ride. But what was the name of the Star Wars themed motion simulator ride that opened at Disneyland in 1987 and was closed in 2010? It was so cool. The actual ride itself was built on modified Boeing 747 simulators, and that's what used to kind of make the motion. And it was the whole sequence, everything in it was directed by George Lucas himself. But yes, round 7, question 3. The name of the Star Wars themed motion simulator ride that opened in Disneyland in 1987 and closed in 2010. And I did it. I snuck a holiday special question in. But what band performed their song Light the Sky on Fire in the 1978 Star Wars holiday special? Now, I remember reading about this years ago. And yeah, I finally got to see it, when YouTube came out and somebody uploaded it. And let's just say it's a very difficult watch. It's awful. Like George Lucas basically said, he wants every copy of it destroyed if he ever sees it again. But like, I'm looking for the band that performed the song "Light the Sky on Fire" in the 1978 Star Wars Holiday Special. You really have to see it. I warn you, it's a hard watch. Is it canon? It does establish Chewie's home planet. And it obviously Life Day as well, which is mentioned in The Mandalorian. So anyway, round 7, question 5. Who composed the score for the film Rogue One? Okay, round 7, question 5. A film I absolutely adore. But who composed the score for the film Rogue One? All right. So that's round 7, question 5. Don't worry, we'll get through every question. We'll recap everyone. You can pause the stream at any point. And round 7, question 6. Who is the main creative director behind the TV series The Mandalorian? Absolute genius, because I think it's so good. Yeah, and I know so many of you guys have been watching it on Disney Plus there over the last couple of weeks. It's absolutely amazing, isn't it? Like, come on, it's just so well acted. I love episode 2. There's like hardly any dialogue in it. It's just what Star Wars was meant to be, I think. Anyway, enough of my yakking on that one. But round 7, question 6. Who's the main creative director behind the TV series The Mandalorian? And your final round up there for round 7. So filming of Star Wars began in 1976, March 22nd. On which country? Number 2, what codename is given to Return of the Jedi? Number 3, what was the name of the Star Wars themed motion simulator ride opened at Disneyland in 1987 and closed in 2010? 4, what band performed their song Light the Sky on Fire in 1978 in the Star Wars The Holiday Special? Good God. Number 5, who composed the score for the film Rogue One? And number 6, who is the main creative director behind the TV series The Mandalorian? And that's round 7. And we're going to move on to our last round. Before we go on to the last round, a couple of housekeeping rules. Once you've finished, hit submit, and you'll get your scores immediately. But do stick about. I'm going to be reading out the answers. Like I said, all the answers were double-checked by me and my friend Mark Harrison, who's obviously watching tonight. They're as right as we think they are. If they're not, like, it's one of those things. Like, we do all the research ourselves. We try to make it as accurate as we can. If you'd like to give some feedback, by all means, let me know on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and do follow us on those. By the way, we'll get more updates about all the different quizzes which are coming up over the next couple of weeks. We've got the Harry Potter quiz and the Marvel DC quiz coming up as well. So thank you very much for playing. Here's our last round. This is a nice easy one, and hopefully you'll pick up some points with this one. Round 8 is Guess the Character. So very simply, I'm going to be showing you a very close-up of 6 different characters from the Star Wars franchise. All have appeared in movies or TV shows. Basically, you just have to guess the character. That's how easy it is. So yes, we move on. Round 8, question 1. Like I said before, this should be fairly easy. You should be able to pick up points with this if you feel that you haven't done as well earlier on. But round 8, question 1. Who's that? Should be pretty obvious. Like I said, I like to throw in a nice couple of easy questions at the very end. Round 8, question 1. Round 8, question 2. What is that, you're wondering? Is it an eye? Is it an alien creature? But yes, round 8, question 2. I'll leave these up for a couple of minutes, and don't worry, if you've missed them, we'll recycle through them again. Round 8, question 3. You might be able to recognize what's happening in the background, where that is, what movie it's from. But round 8, question 3. Round 8, question 4. Not that many people have a purple lightsaber, so that should be your clue with that one. In fact, I think the actor requested it. First of all, he actually requested to be on the show by just asking, and he asked he was on TFI Friday, I think it was. Just said, can I be in the new Star Wars movie? And yeah, they gave him a call, and suddenly he ended up, and he got to pick a color lightsaber as well. So round 8, question 4. Round 8, question 5. One of my favorite characters, simply because he's just so weird. But round 8, question 5. Who is this character? You can see from the kind of multiple options there which movies these are from. So yes, round 8, question 5. And this final one might be a little bit tricky. But round 8, question 6. Who's this? One of the newer ones. Like I said, a lot of people have noticed that the quiz tonight has been very OT heavy. That's just because that's the year of Star Wars. I know. Yeah, and prequels and OT. But yes, who's that? If you recognize the weapon he's carrying, the blaster he's got, the jacket maybe, the location, not really much there, but round 8, question 6. As you can see from the answers you've got in front of you, there's probably one of the new guys. Okay, so we'll go through them all one more time. There's round 8, question 1. Round 8, question 2. Round 8, question 3. Round 8, question 4. Purple lightsaber, you probably will get that. Round 8, question 5. And round 8, question 6. And that's it. That is the Big Nerd Star Wars quiz. Okay, so hit submit on your Google Forms. You should be able to get your score straight away. Let me know how you got on. Give me a message. Put it up on Facebook, Instagram. Share how you got on in the Big Nerd Pub Quiz Star Wars special. Was it too hard? Was it too easy? I know there's a lot of really, really hardcore Star Wars fans out there, and like me included, and my friend Mark who helped write the quiz. Like, yeah, we know what the fans are after and how obsessive people get about the quizzes and the detail of these quizzes. So we hope it's lived up to your expectation as well. And if you thought it was a wee bit too hard, we hope you've learned something tonight. So yes, like I said, all the resources we've used: Wikipedia, the Star Wars Visual Dictionaries by DK, and also various other sources, but mainly, like I said, the visual dictionaries, Star Wars Behind the Scenes, Wikipedia, and StarWars.com. Okay, we're just going to go through a couple of more shout-outs. Okay, Darth Small from Gareth. Gareth says, can we have a shout out to Zachary, aka Darth Small, for his 11th birthday last Friday? Good to hear from you, buddy. Shout out to the boys Jordan and Louis. That's from Nev. Joe wants a shout out. Can you give Hope Weston a shout out? It's her first quiz and she's a massive fan of Star Wars. Good to hear from that. Dara in Belfast, age 9, is doing the quiz with his dad. I don't know who's more excited. And he's shared his pod racer picture with me there. That's fantastic. Neil and Flo from Buckinghamshire are flying on an X-Wing. Phil, give a shout out to Angus and Everett for our first Big Nerd Pub Quiz. That's from Niall in England there. David Mooney, obviously, Mark, Alex and Mark in Port Stewart at One with the Force. Good to hear from you guys. Alex Gibbard wants a shout out to Alex. in Burton-on-Trent, who's a massive Star Wars fan. Amanda Fox saying, having so much fun playing the quiz. That's Mandy, Rupert, Lily and Flo from the Fox family. And Kim Parks says, can we get a shout out for Ethan? Thank you so much, guys. I'll see if I can give some more time, if we have more time at the very end to do the shout outs. I'll try to get through everybody and we'll try to ram out all the names. But if you're sticking about, here is the answers for tonight's Big Nerd Pub Quiz Star Wars special. So here we go, round one. So, round one, the opening lines from that phrase there is from Attack of the Clones. The second Family Guy parody was Something, Something, Something Dark Side. 1983 was the year that the Return of the Jedi was released. The odds of successfully negotiating or navigating a asteroid field is 3,720 to 1. Gonk droids are the name of the little droids that make those weird noises. And 17,000 is the answer for the 17,000 is the answer of the amount of credits that Han Solo accepted to take the guys to Alderaan. TIE stands for Twin Ion Engine. ATST is All-Terrain Scout Transport. The Millennium Falcon is a YT-1300F transporter. Razor Crest is the name of the Mandalorian's ship in The Mandalorian. Luke Skywalker used to bullseye Womp Rats in his T-16. And that's Qui-Gon Jinn's lightsaber, as fell on the ground after he was killed by Darth Maul in The Phantom Menace. So you might have recognized that from the actual movie itself. Round 3, Greedo is a Rodian. Geonosians are great at making droids. The Sarlacc nearly ate Lando Calrissian. Ponda Baba is the alien who gets his arm sliced off. Fat ears are the big creatures in Canto Bight. And porgs, which were the ones that we used to cover up the puffins in The Last Jedi. Round 4 answers. The Bunta Eve Classic was the one that Anakin Skywalker famously won in Episode 1, Phantom Menace. Takonda is where the planet is, where Maz Kanata has her watering hole. Tatooine is the planet that's not mentioned in Episode 4. You see it loads, it's there, but it's never mentioned, which is really odd. It is mentioned in Episode 5 for the first time, but yeah, it's never mentioned by name. Ilium is the planet where Starkiller Base is. Tabana is the gas, and Han Solo is born in Corellia. So the history round, the timelines round. So here's the order which these events happened. Chancellor Palpatine elected. Number 2, the Battle of Coruscant. Number 3, the heist on Vandor. Number 4, death at Jabba the Hutt. Number 5, the encounter at Arvala 7. And number 6, the destruction of Kijimi by the First Order. So that's Episode 1, Episode 3, Solo, Return of the Jedi, The Mandalorian, and Rise of Skywalker. So that's where all those events took place. So if you can work out which movies they were in, that's how you worked it out. Round 6, question 1. Round 2 was Wedge Antilles' call sign at the Battle of Yavin. Invisible Hand is General Grievous' ship in Episode 3. Scarif is the planet where the Death Star plans are leaked. General Veers is the man who leaks, who leads the charge against the rebels at the Battle of Hoth. Many Bothans died to bring us this information at number 5. And Exegol is where the massive battle planet happens. Round 7, Tunisia is where they filmed the Tatooine scenes. Blue Harvest is the code name for Return of the Jedi. Star Tours was the name of the ride in Disneyland. Jefferson Starship were the band who played in the god-awful holiday special. Seriously, do watch it at your peril. Michael Giacchino is the composer of the Rogue One soundtrack, and Jon Favreau is the creative director behind The Mandalorian. And finally, here's your round 8 answers. Yoda was the first one. That was pretty obvious. Queen Amidala, number 2. That close-up was of those big lights on her dress. Famous, iconic costume there. Question 3 was Jango Fett. The Battle of Geonosis there. Mace Windu, who's the only guy with a purple lightsaber, number 4. Nine Nub, who is at the Battle of Endor, who's Lando Calrissian's co-pilot on the Millennium Falcon. And Finn. That's what that last one was. That's Finn. From The Rise of Skywalker. That's this image from the very, very last movie. That's it. That's the Big Nerd Pub Quiz Star Wars special. Let's see if we can do a couple more shoutouts before we go. We've got from the guys in Graz in Austria are playing again tonight. Barney O'Connor saying, May the 4th be with you, from Barney, Chrissy and Flo, who are watching in Dundee. Shout out to Simon and Debbie celebrating their first wedding anniversary. Love from Wayne and Jake. Father Ted, we want a Father Ted. That's from Lisa. Can we get a shout out to Adam and Lola and Bray from Owen? Clement and Bleason says she massively approves. She says she's absolutely loves it. And we've got loads of other people here. We've got Zoe, Kyle, Hannah, Shannon, Jordan Ebert, who's playing, Holly Phillips, Alex Little, Leanne Turkington. It just goes on and on and on. I've got so many people. Jacob Upton, Mark Peterson, Rachel Elizabeth, Amanda Fox. Thank you so much for playing, you guys. Listen, seriously, it's been amazing. This is probably been the biggest quiz I've ever done. And like I said, this has been a month in the making. It's been absolutely fantastic. If this is your first time playing Big Nerd Pub Quiz, thank you so much for playing. Like I said, we're on 4 times a week now. So the next Big Nerd Pub Quiz is on Wednesday. They take place on Wednesday and Saturday at 8 p.m. They're always live on YouTube. I promote them on Facebook, but they're live on YouTube, youtube.com/Big Nerd Pub Quiz. We've got the kids quiz, which is on Tuesdays at 2. So if you've got kids and you want to have something fun to do, that's on tomorrow at 2 o'clock. So the kids quiz is on 2 o'clock. So yeah, don't forget, if you've got kids out there and you want to have them to do something vaguely educational, I've always got nice fun questions in there. Harry Potter quiz, my friend Steph's writing that one for me. Big shout out to Juliet and Greg and Hannah and Phil and Rory and Lloyd and Becca and all the guys out in London who are playing the quiz. And if I've forgotten to mention your name, sorry, but there's been so many of you guys playing. It's been absolutely amazing. And the Marvel DC quiz, 18th of May. Buddy Neil Cochran, who's helping me write that one. It's been amazing. So if you have any suggestions, please don't forget to like and subscribe, share, follow me on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. Get the word out there if you really enjoyed the quiz. And don't forget, you can play any of the quizzes that we've done before. We did a fantastic Game of Thrones one last week. We did a fantastic Star Wars one a couple of weeks before. We've got all these specialty quizzes coming up over the next couple of weeks. It's been absolutely amazing doing them. It's such a pleasure for me. And like I said, I know a lot of people, they're working hard, trying to save lives out there, and they've been doing such a fantastic work. And all I've been doing is sitting here making a quiz, and they deserve such a big round of applause. But like I said, we're in this together. I'm going to keep making these quizzes as long as you keep wanting them. And if you do like them, don't forget to donate to the Patreon and the PayPal. You've been absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for joining me for the Star Wars Big Nerd Pub Quiz. Like I said, next one is the 6th of May at 8 p.m. The Harry Potter Kids Quiz and the DC one, they're on soon as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe with all those links there. Thank you so much for playing the Star Wars Big Nerd Pub Quiz. And it leaves me just one last thing to say. May the Force be with you. Good night. Stay safe.